some learning curves for him, obviously, but this passing attack just feels bland. It feels like teams have kind of figured out what they like to do, and you clog the middle of the field. And I mean, just be honest, guys, you watch the same games I do. How many times do we see the passing attack throw outside the numbers? Everything is congested, like to the middle of the field. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whether it's the little crossing routes, or he's really good at throwing those deep 15-yard over routes. We saw a great one yesterday to Donovan Peoples-Jones on a 4th down. But that's kind of their style of offense. Like, that's where they want to get the ball to. And when teams start figuring that out, and Chicago did a really nice job the first time they played them, it's like, where's the adjustment, right? Where are some of the outside routes? Where are some of the 8-yard hitches, right? Something to get the ball outside the numbers. I just haven't seen them adjust well enough to make that a part of the passing attack to kind of throw teams off of what they're trying to do.
And sometimes we've seen them be effective at getting Amon-Ra St. Brown the ball quickly with a wide receiver screen. You kind of give it away when you put Penei Sewell out there.
Right. I mean,
so I understand the thought process, and maybe there's a counter to that. We haven't seen the counter to that. Maybe, hey, you put Penei Sewell out there, then you run it inside, or you go the opposite way. But to that point, though, you've got to be able to get the ball down the field. You got to get the ball outside the numbers, and some of it can be wide receiver screen. It could be getting the ball to Gibbs, and I know he had the drop, but you've got to be able to get the ball outside instead of always looking inside to Sam Laporta, Amon-Ra St. Brown, or whoever it is that you're looking for a crossing route.
Yeah, and I don't really count the outside screens as part of getting outside the number. You know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking more of the kind of 10 feet. We're on the same page. But, and there's also, I talked to a couple guys yesterday. When's the last time you saw them run just like a regular running back screen, right? They've got good athletes on their offensive line, right? I think we can all agree to that. They've got really good athletes. Use those guys in space more. You know what I mean? When's the last time? We see it all the time. It's a staple of a lot of teams. You watch the Chiefs. I mean, they're great at running these these running back screens where, right, it's a 3 count. You fake the pass, line leaks out, you dump it off to Gibbs. I can't remember the last time I saw that from this offense. I think that could be just a small adjustment that maybe they could run, because you know what, John? We know what that does to a defensive line too. When the pass rush is starting to get home a little bit and they're starting to irritate your quarterback, that's when you start to call it, because if you hit one for a big play, now the defensive line's got to start thinking about that, right? Yep. So there's just little wrinkles that I'm thinking. And look, I still have confidence and faith in Ben Jansen. I think he's a hell of a play caller. But there's just a couple little adjustments that you look at and you say, I know it's easier for us on the outside, looking in,
right,
but there's a couple little things that I think they can help themselves out with, that they can make it maybe a little bit easier on them, right? They don't always have to make it so hard on themselves. That's kind of what it looks like, to me at least, really the majority of probably the last 3 games.
It ended up not meaning much, but who the hell decides to tell Dan Campbell when to challenge? Because that was ridiculous.
I don't know whose job that is upstairs.
Or is he doing it on his own?
I think there's times where maybe in that situation, I don't know if he addressed it yesterday. I didn't hear, but
no, I don't know.
I think in some of those situations, you have to trust your gut. And when you see Cole Kmet bounce up and you see the entire Bears offense sprint to the line of scrimmage, they're usually getting a signal from their sideline that says, get up and snap the ball. We don't want to give them time to see the replay. We think it might have hit the ground, right? So I think Dan Campbell maybe saw that happening, that type of a tempo going on, and he said, okay, something's weird here. They're obviously hurrying up for a reason. I'm just going to throw it and see what happens, right? Because I don't think there wasn't much time in that situation, I don't think, to really look at 4 or 5 replays and try to get every different angle. Right. I think that was just him trusting his gut. Hey, Chicago thinks they're hurrying up. He might have dropped it. It might have hit the ground. Let's just take a chance and see if we can get one.